Baking soda or baking powder? A delicious dilemma.
Hello, baking enthusiasts. Today, we're going to discuss a common question that pops up when we're elbow deep in cake batter. Can I substitute baking soda for baking powder in my cake recipe? This is a fantastic question because understanding the role and function of these ingredients can make a huge difference in your baking.
What are baking soda and baking powder?
To answer this question, we first need to understand what these ingredients are and what they do. Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, is a base that reacts when combined with an acid and liquid, producing carbon dioxide gas. This reaction helps our baked goods rise. On the other hand, baking powder is a complete leavening agent. It contains both an acid and a base, baking soda, plus a buffer like cornstarch. It starts to work once it's wet, and again when it's heated, providing a double action.
Can I substitute baking soda for baking powder?
The simple answer is, not directly. Baking soda is much stronger than baking powder. You'd need up to 3 times more baking powder to get the same amount of rise. But since baking powder also contains an acid, replacing it with baking soda can affect the taste of your cake. However, if you're in a bind, you can create your own baking powder by mixing baking soda with cream of tartar. The ratio is 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda with 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar for 1 teaspoon of baking powder. But remember, homemade baking powder should be used right away because it doesn't store as well as commercial baking powder.
What if I replace baking powder with baking soda?
If you decide to use baking soda instead of baking powder, without adding an additional acidic ingredient, you'll end up with a cake that may taste a little bitter or soapy, due to the extra base left in the cake. Also, your cake might not rise properly. Therefore, when you use baking soda instead of baking powder, you need to include an acidic ingredient in your recipe, like buttermilk, vinegar, or yogurt, to create that necessary chemical reaction. To sum it up, you can't directly replace baking powder with baking soda, and vice versa, without a little science and modification to your recipe. Understanding the chemistry behind these leavening agents will help you become a more confident and flexible baker. We hope this information helps the next time you find yourself short of either baking soda or baking powder. Happy baking!